Welcome to this week's episode of Lee's Outside Doing Stuff Outside. Did I get that
Okay,
right?
we're not going to use that intro. Hey everyone, I'm Lee and this is my friend Jess.
Hello.
We're on a 5-week road trip across the country and back from Bradenton, Florida to Bellingham, Washington. This is week 3. All right, so last night we ended up staying at a casino parking lot. We found one. I had a good night's sleep. I tried to actually record where we were this morning, but for some reason I hit the wrong button and didn't record it. So we are heading to Crescent City. It's about 23-minute drive up the road to get coffee. It is cold though. It was 47 degrees when I woke up this morning. We got a little bit of rain and Pacific Northwest type of weather right now. But we're still gonna get out there and explore for week 3 of this road trip. Jess and I just finished our coffee at this Paragon Coffee house in Crescent City. We are gonna stop by a Safeway to get some groceries, and then we are making our way north out of California and up the Oregon coast. I believe we are shooting for Newport, Oregon. It's about a 5.5 hour drive, but we are gonna be stopping in a bunch of little beachy towns and exploring. So I don't know if we'll make it that far today. It is a little cold out, so that is also gonna change how much we explore outside. But yeah, heading north. Gotta love that Pacific Northwest style weather we're getting into. We're officially in Oregon. There are some rocks here and some mountains and trees and the ocean and Murdoch. We're up here, Pacific Northwest. We stopped at the Pistol River South. Little sand dune area. I'm gonna feed Murdoch real quick, and then I think we're gonna walk over a couple of these dunes and see what we can see. Sand dunes. It is nice out here. This is the Oregon coast that I remember. Lots of sand dunes, grass stuff. Forget what it's called. Beach grass. And then some pine trees on the beach, and then some sinky big grain sand. What do you think, turd? The ocean. All right, we've been out on the beach, and of course we had to walk along and find a couple rocks to take back to the east coast of the US with us. I got this little fleshy looking,
That one's gross.
kind of like a mushroom rock that's weird. I got this red heart kind of rock. I thought it was cool. I'm gonna take that to M. And I got this like moon, nice smooth rock that I'm taking. What'd you get, Jess? Explain your rocks.
I've got a desert rock, white rock, anarchy rock, eyeball rock, and weird green rock.
I found the anarchy rock.
Yep, and I couldn't leave it behind.
She grabbed it. It's a good one.
Got it
Also,
on both sides.
there was a wave that came in, and Jess was trying to avoid getting her feet wet, but she was down by the water, and you know how there's always bigger waves that come in. I guess she's not used to that, and she got her Birkenstocks all sandy and salty and wet, so she's got to go rinse those off.
Yep.
And then, of course, Murdoch's out here getting covered in sand. He's been running around. He fell down. He just sat in the sand and itched himself. So he's going to be a dirty turd in the car. Hopefully he'll shake it all off before we climb back in there. Oh, just got another.
One more.
What is that? How do you explain that?
I don't know, red rock.
Jess got a red
Is what
rock
it
as
is.
well. Some more dunes. Murdoch's leading the way. I'm here. Jess is back there doing her Jess thing.
Yep, that's what they call it.
The Jess thing. Jess decided she wanted to trudge up the dune. Faster! Trudger. Pretty good sized dune. I'm gonna walk around it. She's struggling. Was it worth it?
That's hard.
Yeah.
You do it, Lee.
You shall not pass. We're in a little town called Bandon. It's like when you say Brandon, but you're a little tarded. So, little stop and stroll around, check it out. Should be cool. Lots and lots of bridges on the Oregon coast. Bridges and bridges and bridges and bridges. Just on time. So it's very important when you're doing things like we're doing, where we're stealth camping, to make sure your car is clean. We had bugs smashed all over the front of ours, but now that we're getting back north, we're halfway through Oregon going up the coast, there's not as many bugs. So we kind of cleaned them up a little bit so we don't stick out like a bunch of dirty turds. We're gonna see if we can check out the sea lion caves. I think it's closed, but we're gonna stand up here and see if we can see some sea lions, because it's almost 6 o'clock now. All right, it is closed, so we are clearly not gonna see some sea lions. I thought you'd be able to see some from up top here, but I don't see nothing. All right, this should be our last bridge for the day. We're going into Newport for our stealth camping spot. Gotta show you this sunset bridge combo. We made it to Newport, and I am ending the day of filming. We have a spot that's right up this little path here. It's literally maybe 500 feet away, and we're camping right out by the beach during the sunset. There are no parking signs, and it's awesome. It is street parking and it'll be stealth camping, but we will be fine there for the night. I'm gonna eat some food, watch the sunset, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Murdoch slept with his little coat last night in his little bed area. As soon as I got the camera out, he decided to get up, but as you can see, I got my little curtain up here in the back that blocks out the light. I got my curtain blocked off in the front. I've got my little side covers. And then these windows here are ceramic tinted, so they are like limo tint on the outside, but I can see out. There's an ocean view over there and another van lifer across the street. It is kind of odd sleeping in here with my windows just tinted, because I can see out clearly, but people can't see in, so it's a little weird. And then of course, I keep my sunroof open for ventilation. to keep it from getting condensation in here. And then these windows are also cracked. But I've got little rain guards on them in case it starts raining at night. With my sunroof, rain doesn't really get in it, but I would just wake up and close it if it started raining too hard. The side ones I can leave open. Anyway, I'm gonna stuff my sleeping bag away and get out and go have some coffee. I also gotta wake Jess up. She slept about a half a block back behind me. I moved before going to bed because there were some people that saw me getting ready and that made me uncomfortable. So no one knows I'm in this spot. Yeah, so good morning. We stopped at White Rabbit Coffee earlier. Is there a rabbit on this? No logo on the cup. They had a cool little, it was like a little round rabbit cut in half logo, but we are gonna walk around Nye Beach and then we're gonna grab a second coffee at, what was that cafe called? You remember?
Nye Beach Cafe.
At Nye Beach Cafe. And of course we got Murdoch out here sniffing around, peeing, pooping. We did a little change up of plans. We're at Newport's Historic Bayfront so we can see some, are they sea lions or seals?
I think they're sea lions.
All right, we're gonna go see some sea lions.
We'll see the sea lions by the sea.
Yeah, we can smell them too. They got some stank on them.
Looking at him. He is. I was like, what the hell?
We're at the coffee house. It's got a little view. It's got a little heat lamp. It's got a little Murdoch allowed on this little outside area.
And it's got no sea lion stink.
No sea lion stink. That's very important. Those sea lions, it smelled like rotting dead animals. It was absolutely terrible.
It was like fish and poop. Fish and poop.
Disgusting. So we're both gonna have some big ol' omelets and some coffee and wake up a little more. And then eventually we're heading to Lincoln City and then probably Astoria. And we'll see how much farther we get north of that because in the next couple days we're gonna be up in Bellingham, which is our farthest point we're gonna be reaching on this trip. I'm excited. How are you feeling about it?
Super excited. Why you gotta get so close to my face? Like
It's on 0.5 so I can get really close to Jess and she is not used to that angle. I'm used to it. I'll talk in that all day. Just because I think this is interesting, look how their coffees came out in big clear mugs. That's cool. All right, some of you might be asking how I get ready for the day and how I get clean. There are no Anytime Fitnesses on 101. They're all on the I-5 corridor, so it's been a couple days since I've been able to shower and fully clean. I'm typically able to find restrooms to wash my face off, and then I've got baby wipes in my little bag here. That's got my toothbrush in there. It's got baby wipes. It's got baby powder to powder myself up if I want. All kinds of stuff. This is just a little public restroom. It's fairly clean. When I get in here, I did a full costume change. I baby wiped my armpits, my private areas, and cleaned myself up. I rinsed my face off at the restaurant bathroom because they had paper towels to use. But you do what you gotta do when you are traveling the way I am traveling. You do your best also not to touch anything in here when you're changing. I stand on top of my shoes. Everything goes on top of my shoes, so nothing's touching the floor. It's a push button sink thing. So you do your best not to touch anything in this environment, but you can get yourself cleaned up. You can get your face rinsed off. I don't shave in here or anything like that, but just the basics to be clean and smell good and put fresh clothes on makes a huge difference. You can do it. Well, as usual on 101, there's always a ton of construction and we're stuck in traffic. But as you can see, we have a nice ocean view. We are almost to Astoria. We're driving up through some woods, and we are definitely in the cold, wet, gray Pacific Northwest. There's a reason I don't really come up here until basically after the 4th of July. It's kind of depressing, but luckily we do have some sun starting to poke through. We're doing a little stop in Seaside, Oregon. I love this place. It's where I used to come when I was a kid. There's all kinds of kid stuff to do, ice cream shops and rides to ride and toy stores, things like that. Smells very nostalgic in here and old. We have made it to Astoria, and this is the end of our coastal route. We are going to head over towards I-5 after this. Well, we'll go north into Washington over the Astoria Bridge, but of course you can't come here without seeing the Goonie house. So we are parking a little ways away from it and walking up to it. I don't know how close you can get anymore. It looks like a lot of people are stopping at the end of the road, so we'll find out. Getting one last big old bridge, the Oregon-Washington Astoria Bridge on camera. We are officially in Washington State. It had been a couple days since my last shower, so I just got a shower at this LA Fitness in this Belltown Center. They had hot water and they had towels. It was a great one. Good morning, everyone. We slept last night in front of a 24-hour Planet Fitness, even though we don't work out at Planet Fitness, because they had a parking lot between their gym and a Fred Meyer that was nice and open with no parking signs. We're in Lacey, Washington, but it, in true Pacific North wet style, is rainy and gross. Just got up before me. She just came and knocked on my windows and woke me up. I got fogged up windows, but there's a Planet Fitness over there. Good morning. Also, Mert is still all tucked in over here. Planet Fitness. Fred Meyer. Gonna go get a coffee and use the restroom. Perfectly sums up Pacific Northwest weather. Just rain and traffic. That's not part of the weather, but it's part of the experience. There's Seattle. We're gonna probably try to come back and visit that on our way out of the Pacific Northwest. We are officially in Bellingham, Washington. I'm going up Alabama Hill right now. We visited with my dad. Now we're heading to visit my sister. This is the farthest point in our journey. After this, we're turning around, we're heading east, we're heading back to some warm, proper camping places and weather. All right, we're out in Bellingham. It's rainy and cold. Me and my dad are going to eat some jalapenos. My stepmom is here too. She's hiding from the camera. Jess is here. So another quick Bellingham car clip. We actually ended up going north of Bellingham to Ferndale because I've got to get an oil change. Jess is due for an oil change. Toyota recommends every 5,000 miles. I am probably just above that 5,000 miles in my RAV4. I don't normally go so long, but we've been just driving. So when I'm on the road, I typically trust Valvoline for consistent oil changes. They always do a good job, at least where I'm at. So quick oil change and then more little calculation of how far we've driven since we left Florida. I have my mileage written down. I was at 104,345 miles and now I'm at 109,025 miles. So we drove 4,680 miles since we left Florida. That's pretty awesome. And that was driven in 2.5 weeks time. We still have 2.5 weeks on our return trip back to Florida. I just want to share with everyone, there's a little Cruisin Coffee down here off the airport exit. I worked at that for years. One of my favorite jobs I've ever had. And when you get your oil changed, always make sure you check all your valve stem caps. Make sure they didn't leave one off because that's just annoying. And you pop your hood, double check that your air filter is closed and look underneath and make sure your car's not dumping oil out. That's what you should do every time you get your oil changed. We're actually going to check my air filter because I don't even know if they took a look at it. Some dead bugs and stuff in there, so I don't think they checked it, but it looks like I can just knock it out. And I do have a backup one, but I think this is still good to go. Quite a few more miles will replace that. Make sure all your caps are on. Make sure your dipstick is in and your oil filler cap is tight but not too tight. You don't want to strip it out or tighten it so much you can't get it back off, and then you're good to go. I couldn't help myself. I got to get a coffee while I'm here where I used to work. All right, official taste of nostalgia for me. It is always good coffee. I really love that company. Like I said, great place to work for. I was hoping I would see someone I used to work with. Oh man, it's been like 20 years, maybe a little less now that I worked there, but was hoping I'd see someone I used to work with managing it now or something, but of course I didn't recognize anyone. You can't expect people to do coffee that long.
Big coffee, big coffee.
Where are we going, Jess?
To look at the Bayfront. I'm not exactly sure where we are.
We are down by Hotel Bellwether. We just parked up. We're gonna drink our coffees, giant coffees as Jess pointed out. Check out the Bayfront real quick, and then we are gonna head to Stan's Auto Body that my buddy Derek owns with his friend Diego. And we're gonna just randomly drop in and say hi to him every time I'm in town. I have to do that. I would also see his wife, Danny, and his son Owen, but we're here on such short notice. I don't think we're gonna have a big get together like we normally do because we're getting out of town tomorrow morning, super early. Yum 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 yum.
One foot's all out to the side.
Yum 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 yum. Little shot of Hotel Bellwether there. I don't know if you follow Timmy for Truck House Life, but when he was traveling through Washington, he stayed at Hotel Bellwether. Cool thing for me to see because that's when I lived in Bellingham. This isn't my hometown, but I lived here a very long time, and that was kind of a staple location. So I was like, oh, Truck House Life is there. That's cool. We went and saw Derek, and of course I was asking about Casa que Pasa. They used to have a potato burrito that was delicious. It's got potatoes and its own little special sauce, and that place is long gone. So he recommended Greene's Corner, which I did have a potato burrito here last year, and I'm heading in to get another one. It's kind of a Bellingham staple. If you've ever been up here, I'm sure you've had a potato burrito. Just gotta get this real quick. This mailbox up here. That says Peeners. And all right, here's a quick special treat. My dad said it was okay for me to do. But up here in his guest bedroom, there's a bunch of my really old paintings. I'm just gonna blast through them and show you guys some of my really old, somewhat embarrassing work. We got 2010. We've got 2008 weird tree branch thing. I don't know what I was doing. 2006. I was doing pinstriping. I was all over the place with my art. This is before tattooing. 2011, just weird watercolor with no lines, just red stuff. We've got, let's see here. There's an old pinstriping acrylic box that I made that's really cool my dad's got. This had to be like 2008 as well. Really old Japanese style stuff from 2005. All right, this is probably one of the worst ones I can find. It's cringy. This is from 2003. Flamin' water koi fish. It's embarrassing, but I gotta share this with everyone. We got 2007 pinstriping again. And then this is when I had started tattooing again, but 2011, some big flowers I did, but it's always neat to see this stuff still hanging up. I'm glad my dad kept it around. Thanks, Dad. Good morning, everyone. It is just before 7 a.m. I am leaving my dad and Deb's house. We had a great time staying with you. Thank you very much for having us over for a couple days. I had a good night last night playing some board games with my son, Finn. And it is wet and cold still up here, so we're hitting the roads and heading towards Twin Falls, Idaho. We're gonna get into Eastern Washington, and then we're gonna start heading south. So we opted out of exploring Seattle. Jess has done Seattle, I've done Seattle a million times, but we are heading east and we are going on I-90 over Snoqualmie Pass, and I haven't driven this in quite a while, so I'm a little excited to go over it. I'll get some more footage when we get up in the snow. We're on the top of Snoqualmie Pass. We had to get out and show Jess some real snow, even though it's pretty dry up here. It's also really bright. I probably should have my sunglasses on, but I know everyone likes seeing my eyes when I'm talking on camera. Bird's out here, he's got to see the snow. Jess is out here mesmerized by this white, dirty, fluffy stuff. It is really pretty. It looks like there was a recent dusting up on the trees, but we're just up here to get a quick shot of this, and then we're moving on. Driving through the Ellensburg Canyon, I had to make a little stop. I haven't been here since I was a little kid, but my mom used to always take me and my brother and my sister to these caves on the Yakima side of the Ellensburg Canyon. She always called them the Bat Caves. which they're all really graffitied up right now and gross, but they're really cool. Check this out. Pretty cool through here. Gotta experience some old tunnel cave thing, because this doesn't look like it would have been a road. If it was, they gave up on it, because this is pretty gnarly. Managed to go in the caves and give myself one little flesh wound on some really sharp slate rock that I barely bumped into, and it split the front of my ankle area open. So we're gonna back teen it a whole bunch and wrap it up, and I don't think it needs stitches, but it's a little bit wide and deep of a cut, but we'll see how that works out. It's going right there.
There we go.
He roughly patched me up while we were at the Bat Caves, and then we cruised into Yakima. Little Fred Meyer here. Luckily, Jess had a first aid kit, and it had some gauze, and she had Bactine, and I washed out with water, hosed it down in Bactine, wiped it off with paper towel, and it was still pouring quite a bit of blood out, so it was self-rinsing, I like to say. But we stopped here, and I got some fresh gauze, I got some Neosporin type stuff, I got some bandages, and some Coflex tape, and now I'm bandaged up. Good as newish. When I did take the little bandage we had temporarily put on there, it had stopped bleeding, but I know if I flexed my foot down far enough, that would have reopened. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and I think I'm just fine. But it did look like it needed stitches. It was a little wide. The sun is starting to set. We have been driving all day. My wound is feeling just fine, not really of any concern, but we are trying to get to Twin Falls, Idaho. It is still going to be really cold there with an overnight low of 31. We are heading east into drier camping, stealth camping conditions, but we are not south far enough into warmer stealth camping conditions. So we're planning on having a cold night tonight, then we're going to get up early and get farther south and look for actual campsites, probably in Nevada somewhere. We don't know where exactly, but check out this view. We fell about an hour and a half short of our goal to get to Twin Falls, Idaho today, probably due to me getting injured, but we are in Mountain Home, Idaho right now at, you guessed it, Hotel Walmart. Hopefully we won't get kicked out of this parking lot. It says no overnight parking for RVs and campers, but no overnight parking. So I think we'll be all right. There are some hotels and stuff we could go drive around and try to park out in front of, but I'm tired. We're just gonna try this for the night. See you in the morning. And good morning, everybody. This was our little stealth camping spot. I'm heading to McDonald's to get a coffee and brush my teeth and use the restroom real quick. Jess already left without me. She must have got up a couple minutes early. It was cold though, so I was sleeping as long as I could. Mert is still all tucked in. He does not want out of bed. He's under that lump, and I gave him my heated scarf too. And we were for sure in freezing temperatures, because that is ice. We slept in freezing temperatures in Idaho. All right, we got our McDonald's coffee. and we are on the road. It is about 7:36 and it is freezing cold here, so we're moving on. Good morning. It's still fairly early. We cruised our last hour and a half into Twin Falls, Idaho. If you've never been here, I always cruise through here. They've got a new visitor center and this new little overlook point that is really cool, but this is like it's a cool canyon and river to look at from high above. Jess is pooping again, so she'll be out here in a couple minutes, I'm sure. Murd's out here with me. But check out this view. This is how Murdoch feels about Twin Falls. Just kidding, I'm not gonna leave that there. So I opted to not go out there because this is way too high up for me and I get vertigo. I did go just to the side there and walk out a little bit, but Jess walked out there and she is all the way out at the highest point recording. And I'm pretty sure that in the distance down there is Evel Knievel's dirt mound for jumping this gap, which is pretty cool to see that it's still up there. I don't know why they would tear it down, but yeah. All right, we're out here in Idaho and Jess convinced me to get a camo trucker hat to fit the part also because she has one. So she wants to look like dorks while we walk around, but it does fit into Idaho, backwoods, country, even Nevada, so.
If it's not a cowboy hat, it should be a camo hat that you're buying in this area.
Gotta fit the part. We left Twin Falls and we are headed straight south in the Vegas direction. We're probably gonna find some BLM camping or something. We're undecided. We are just, honestly, we're cruising it and playing it by ear, but this is just nice, open country roads. It feels good. We are on 93, I believe. We have made it south to Wells, Nevada. We're taking a little break. Jess is over here.
What up?
Digging in some stuff,
trying to eat the salad before it rots.
She's having a little salad. I changed my dressings on my little wound. Doesn't look like it's bleeding. It's still leaking a little bit, but I think it's gonna be just fine. Murdoch's in here. He is a very, very sleepy boy today. I'm gonna take him out for a little walk. We walked him around Twin Falls a little bit. And now we are just really cruising, enjoying the views, looking for some scenic places to stop. I wouldn't say Wells, Nevada is the most scenic place to be, but it's a good stop in the middle of nowhere.
Coors Light Mountains.
There are some Coors Taste the Rockies mountains over there. Today, Saturday, has yet again been a lot of driving. We're at higher elevations in Nevada and we are heading down to Vegas. We actually found some camp spots that we were like, we're gonna call it a night there early in the day so we could actually like set up camp, relax for a while. We looked at the overnight lows. One of them was 21 degrees and there was another that was 30 degrees, which we did those temperatures last night, well, 30 degrees last night, and it was a little too cold. Ooh, look at the view. So we decided too many nights in temperatures like that is risking us getting sick. Ooh, another cool view. So we don't want to pull too many of those while we're on the road. So we are shooting down. It's about 3 hours from now. We'll be getting there at about 6:30 in the evening. There is a camp where the overnight low is only 41 degrees. Jess knows the name of the town. I do not know. I'm just following the GPS and actually following her right now. So should be a slightly warmer camping night. And then the next day we should be down in the Las Vegas area, which tends to be fairly warmer. And then also we have friends there, so we're probably going to overnight at our friend's house. And then if temperatures are cold, we're going to stay along I-10 and then more in Arizona and more camping in some of the warmer areas. We're out on some little side roads looking for a camp spot. Of course, Murdoch's whining and having a fit because he is ready to get out of the car. I am ready to get out of the car. It's always hard with these BLM campsites because we never know if they're going to all be taken up or sometimes they're just randomly closed. So we will find one though. That last little area we were at, all the sites were taken, and also there were mosquitoes everywhere. So I'm hoping not to get eaten up at this one. There's no lake nearby, but got a little spot for the night. We are tired of driving though, so we're gonna settle in. Jess is down the road. She was still checking out that other spot, but it's only like 3 minutes away. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, April 5th. It is the last day for this week's vlog before I start next week's tomorrow. But we slept good out here in this little stealth camping area. It was really nice and quiet, a little bit of freeway noise, but other than that, it was great. There were a bunch of bugs last night, a bunch of mosquitoes, but I sprayed down with some bug spray, and I'm all right this morning. Sun hasn't quite come up yet, but we're gonna roll into the next town and find some coffee before we head on to Vegas for a next stop. Good morning. We are out cruising Las Vegas Boulevard, getting some touristy stuff in. We all got coffee. Les is back there, coffee. Jess.
What?
How you feeling after all that buffet?
Big.
Les.
But in a good way.
We just had Easter buffet at MGM Grand. We are all overly stuffed.
These need to carry us.
It is just about 10 p.m. on this Sunday. We are just getting back from Meow Wolf. We are crashing out here at our friend Les's house in Las Vegas. I'm blowing an air mattress up for myself right now. Join me next week for week 4 of our road trip. We'll see how that goes. Good night.